Welcome, and thank you for tuning in. If you appreciate this video, we invite those of you who haven't yet done so, to like, comment, share, subscribe, and click the notification icon, to be notified when the next one is uploaded. We enjoy reading all comments, whether positive or negative, because it is very important to ventilate both sides of any issue. All we ask is that you observe the YouTube community guidelines. This video, which is about the BBC's coverage of Friday's free practice sessions at the Italian GP, will also set out why they are the lowest rung on the ladder to holding the media accountable for their coverage of Lewis Hamilton and what happened in Abu Dhabi. The other media outlets are privately owned, and therefore less susceptible to public accountability than the license fee-funded BBC. As our regular viewers are aware, we have launched a petition to get the Secretary of State for Culture, Media and Sport to convene an inquiry into the BBC and Channel 4's coverage of Lewis Hamilton and Abu Dhabi.
The fraudulent injustice that robbed Sir Lewis Hamilton of his 8 Drivers' World Championship at Abu Dhabi Grand Prix 2021 must be investigated, and justice must be done.
We have received feedback from some of our viewers that they have been unable to access the online petition via the link that we provided, so in such instances please copy and paste the link into your browser. Our strategy is very simple and boils down to a numbers game. We need enough subscribers and petitioners to force the minister to have to respond. If we get the numbers, they will have to respond, even if it's to tell us why they can't or won't open an inquiry. Either way we win. When you sign the petition, you can leave a comment or post a video as Rick did, so come on guys, let's get moving. In this video, we will show you how the British Broadcasting Corporation blanked Sir Lewis at the Italian GP for clout. We will do so by comparing the BBC's report on Friday's Italian GP free practice sessions with that of their Sky counterparts in the UK and Italy, to expose their outrageous anti-Lewis bias. To recall, the license fee-funded British Broadcasting Corporation has a duty to the public, but they routinely put hidden agendas above public interest. For example, Sir Lewis, who is known to have millions of supporters, gained even more after what happened at Abu Dhabi. Yet, the BBC controversially excluded him from the Sports Personality Awards shortlist for 2021, hours after he had been cruelly robbed in Abu Dhabi. This, to remember, is the same BBC that led the way in gaslighting that injustice. Well, this policy, which has continued unabated, was reflected in their coverage of Friday's free practice session at the Italian GP. Even Toto Wolff acknowledged when stabbing Sir Lewis in the back in 2021 that he was the greatest ever in Formula One history. No Brit has ever dominated their sport the way Sir Lewis dominates F1, so you would expect this to be reflected in the BBC's coverage as set out in their charter. Well, let us see. The hero of the BBC's coverage of the Italian GP free practice 1 and 2 was Kimi Antonelli, the young Italian kid, making his short-lived debut in free practice 1 at his home race. He wasn't going to take part in free practice 2, but crashed out spectacularly minutes into his FP1 session. This young Italian's FP1 crash was the headline for the BBC's coverage of a day that ended with Lewis topping the charts, in what could possibly signal the start of his well-renowned second-half surge. Sir Lewis topping the charts was acknowledged in the caption that accompanied the image of the BBC's Italian hero getting out of his crashed car unscathed. So, for the British Broadcasting Corporation, Britain's greatest sportsman ever, topping the second practice for the first time in forever, in a sign that he was returning to his dominant best, was secondary to an Italian novice, crashing out on his debut. Well, let us cross over to the commercial broadcaster, Sky, for comparison. Sky UK led with an image and video of Hamilton in his car, with the caption, Hamilton quickest from Norris in tight second practice at Monza. Kimi and his crash were only mentioned in passing reference in the supporting notes, after the Brits Norris and Russell had been duly acknowledged. Sky's Italian counterpart also led with an image and video of Lewis Hamilton in his car with the caption, "Monza, Hamilton gets free practice too, Sainz third and Leclerc fifth." Sainz and Leclerc are of course Ferrari drivers, so they had to be mentioned for the benefit of the Italian audience. No mention at all of Kimi crashing out. So, why was the license fee-funded British Broadcasting Corporation the only one to blank Sir Lewis with their headline image? Why did they rate an Italian debutant who crashed out, above the knight who is proudly flying the British flag, as the greatest the sport has ever seen? Their policy towards reporting on Formula One is something the BBC have to explain, but they have refused to do so to date. Why is our James Atkins, with his subscriber base, not worthy of a reply from the man who is paid from his license fee, when the BBC routinely respond to individual members of the public? This is why we need the petition to generate enough signatories to force the BBC to account for their biased coverage. This is why we need the hashtag to trend and go viral. These license fee-funded public servants can't just do as they please. They have to be made to account to the license fee payers for their editorial policy, and they have made it clear that unless enough people complain, they are not going to change. Why did commercial broadcasters rank Sir Lewis's performance above Kimi's crash, unlike the BBC? The Italian debutant's crash was a sidebar to the Italian media's coverage, so why was it a headline for the license fee-funded British Broadcasting Corporation at the expense of the greatest British sportsman ever? It is clear that the BBC is operating to an undisclosed policy that is manifesting in their output. We know from their handiwork that Sky UK are operating to their master's commands to degrade Sir Lewis. But the same master is having difficulty enforcing those orders in Italy, since Sir Lewis's transfer to Ferrari was announced. Perhaps those who have any idea can let us know in the comment section why Sky Italy is more disposed to promoting Sir Lewis than Sky UK. Why does the British Broadcasting Corporation have a well-documented history of blanking Sir Lewis? We deserve an explanation, and the best way to get one is going viral with our hashtag, or through a heavily subscribed petition. It is no secret that Sky UK are of similar mind with the BBC when it comes to degrading Sir Lewis, but even they could not bring themselves to go as low as Andrew Benson did on this occasion. Well, let us look outside the media to see how Mercedes, who both Kimi and Sir Lewis drive for, covered the practice sessions. Surprise, surprise, they also led with Sir Lewis's strong showing and no mention of Kimi's crash on their homepage thumbnails. So, both inside and outside the media, the license fee-funded British Broadcasting Corporation was the only one to blank Sir Lewis. But the BBC did not just stop at blanking Sir Lewis with their headline, they also only made passing reference to him in the article underpinning the headline. Yes folks, that is precisely what they did. To start with, the BBC gave more time to the unimpressive performance of the Dutch driver, whose fake title they helped to launder in 2021, after it was stolen from the black British driver that they have been routinely blanking. They dedicated 4 out of 8 paragraphs to the Dutch, including 2 that were dedicated exclusively to him and an obsequious mitigation for his poor showing. Sir Lewis, by comparison, was only mentioned fleetingly in 2 paragraphs. The first paragraph which he shared with Kimi, and the second in which a half-sentence briefly acknowledged his tight time gap to the runner-up. Sir Lewis is not mentioned anywhere else in the 8 paragraphs underpinning the Kimi headline. The British Broadcasting Corporation's article gave us more information on how well everybody else, including the carpenter and the candlestick maker, did, than the greatest British sportsman ever. The white British reporter told us how the white Dutch driver did in both sessions, what tyres he was on, where he made a mistake, and where he was quick, amongst other details. The White British reporter also gave us more information about how the White British runner-up did than he did about the Black British goat that topped the session. He told us how the White British runner-up, who was referenced in 5 paragraphs, did in the first and second sessions, and cited copious excerpts from an interview, telling us how he felt the day had gone generally. He even told us how many points the White British runner-up was behind the Dutch championship leader in the title race. But here's the thing, it's only people like us who will inform you that the Black British goat, who the White British Broadcasting Corporation reporter is blanking, is as close to the White British runner-up as the White British runner-up is to the championship leader. So, how does the White BBC reporter know that the Black British goat, with a formidable reputation for surging in the second half of the season, has less chance of overhauling the White British driver, who has never won a title, and whose championship medal is in question, than that driver has of overhauling the Dutch championship leader? Does the White BBC reporter routinely blank the Black British driver for clout with his paymaster? Or does he do it of his own volition? Whatever the case may be, the license fee-funded British Broadcasting Corporation is in breach of its duty to the millions of Lewis Hamilton supporting license fee payers and supporters around the world. This is a breach that can best be addressed by a high-profile public campaign to ensure that the hashtag goes viral and the petition gathers so many signatures that the minister is compelled to convene a public hearing.